Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. So today, in my last video I mentioned I am going to do a bunch of food prep, preservation, all that. So I have my list. I'm reading my list. On my list, I have processed that 25-pound bag of onions we got from the food pantry yesterday. And side note with that, over the summer, my co-op that I used to get from more frequently had, I think it was like $10 or $15 for a 25-pound bag of yellow onions, but some of those are needing to be processed. So I want to process some of those before I do the red and then swap them on out. So some of the reds will get processed, but some won't. I'm thinking of dehydrating some and freezing some. I have a whole bunch of meat that I took out to defrost. I have ground beef and 3 roasts. I want to can those, and I'm thinking cook some of them and raw can the rest. I've never canned beef, so this is going to be an experience, but I have my crock pot started so I can brown. I need to figure out how much of each. So I have probably 6 or 7 pounds of ground beef out to can, and then 3 huge roasts, but I don't know how much I want to cook and how much I don't want to cook. So I need to figure that out. We are going to make, there's my face, Fruity Pebble treats with the Fruity Pebbles from the food pantry. And then my last thing I wanted to try was trying to make fruit leather out of these canned fruits, which I don't know if I can do. I haven't looked that up yet. That's on the last on my list. So I sent my husband, he's supposed to be in charge of baby while we do this, but I had to mail something and I needed him to run to the bank because we do the envelope system for budgeting. So he needed to go pull out cash because it was payday week. And then I have my other list of daily things like check on the chickens, feed the cats, do the laundry. Don't lose your mind. I'm kind of slow, so bear with me. I had my, why is pregnancy like already you're tired and then they're like, you have to do this, you have to do this. So I had to get my Tdap shot, and I think because I had been sick with the baby when she was sick, it just like, I've never felt like that after a vaccine. I was so tired yesterday. My arm hurt, my body hurt. So I went to bed early, but we're up. We're gonna do this, but it might be slow. So that's what's on the agenda. And I think a bunch of it is just like getting it going, and then I can do it. Like if I cook the meat, I want to cook it right. So it's going to have to cook for a few hours in the crock pot. So this is probably going to be an all day cooking thing. That's okay. I'll take you a log. We can't yawn. We can't yawn yet. It's only 10 o'clock. I got up, made the girls breakfast, cuddled, did all the morning laziness. We cuddled and drank our coffee and our smoothie. I had the coffee, she had the smoothie. So let's get going. I'm going to go run downstairs, grab the onions, and wait for this crock pot to heat up, and then we'll brown it and get it going, and I'll show you when I have an update. So I think what I want to do today is we're going to raw can half, my husband's watching it, raw can half of the beef, half of the roast. I don't know why he's ducking. He's very tall too. And then we will cook the other half. So I'm going to get these browned and then cooking in the crock pot. I have my big bag of onions. And these jars right here are from my Aunt Maida's pantry. She didn't want any of her jars to go to DI after she passed. So my niece went and got dozens and dozens, and I'm so excited. So I'm just going to, my mind's going 100 miles. So I'm just going to salt and pepper these, and then I'm going to throw them in the crock pot to brown, and then start cooking these. I'll probably just do high for 4 hours and then get these canning, but after I do this, I'm going to can up the raw meat. Or cook the ground meat. I don't know. We'll be right back. Well, just kidding. I'm not going to brown it yet because my husband went to make one of the burritos that I had froze in the air fryer while I had the crock pot growing, and it blew a fuse. So we're just going to salt and pepper this meat right here. One of them has a bone, but after it cooks, we'll take it out and somebody will have a treat. So salt, pepper. He's figuring that out. And I just did these kind of thin because I want them to cook a little bit faster. And then these I think are 1.5 pounds, these ground beefs. So I think I'm just gonna cook them all. Oh, that was bloody. Cook them all and then we'll can up those cooked. He's struggling. I can hear him trying to figure out what's going on. So let me try and help him get this going and then we will go. Technical difficulties because we had to change the fuse. So what I've done is I've pretty much cooked up all of that. I need a drink. It's pretty thoroughly cooked, the ground beef. There's a little bit of pink, but I figure since we're going to be cooking it for 75 minutes, canning it, it'll finish up and I don't care if it's fully cooked. And then we have the roast going. I had to move it into the front room because it blew a fuse. Also, just so you know this fun fact about me, I am horrible at shutting cabinets and drawers and it drives everyone in my life crazy. So let me show you what we got. We got all this meat done. This is a really big bowl. And then we're gonna walk this way. Had to go over here. And then we have the roast going in the slow cooker to can that later. So I'm going to get these jarred up. I'm going to can them up and throw the ground beef in because it takes 75 minutes to do pint jars. And then you have to let it cool for like an hour. So I can't do more than one batch for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I'm thinking I might want to do a quart jar for when we're doing bigger meals, just 1 or 2. But we'll see how much I have. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Sorry, kind of a weird angle. I'm just going to put my meat in these jars. I had to send my husband and the baby to the store because I don't have lids. All my aunts' lids didn't, excuse me, all my aunts' jars didn't come with lids. So I'm like, oh shoot, how am I going to do this? So I'm going to add some liquid in here, I think, too, just a little bit from the bottom. There's a piece of meat stuck to my finger. But I'm going to do it up to there for about now. I don't know if you can see me. Up to there for about now. And then I'm going to go back in and get the air bubbles out and add some liquid. I think I am going to do one of these. Because, you know, sometimes you're making a big meal and you don't want to open like 4 jars. Someone in my comments on my last video asked me how many pairs of glasses do I have. So I have been collecting glasses forever, like before I was a poor stay-at-home mom. I get most of my glasses from companies that ship from China, and I think the cheapest pair of glasses I have with my prescription was $1. And then if you got a certain amount or whatever, then it was free shipping. So I probably have 60 pairs of glasses. But remember, this is 8 years of glasses collecting. It's not, I did not just get all these glasses. So my glasses are usually based on my feelings for the day, how I feel for the day. Today, I had a headache yesterday, so I have very lightweight glasses on because I didn't want very much pressure on my head. And the ones I was wearing, ones I was wearing yesterday were very heavy. Okay, so we have 3 of these done. And 1 of these. And you know what? I'm thinking we probably could do 2. So let's do 2 of these big ones. I just have this cloth down because it's clean And that way if I drop anything, I can pick it up and not worry about it falling in on the floor or falling in between the dishwasher and the stove. This is our dishwasher. We don't have one, so we have the kind that you roll and you hook up. But it's really nice. I got it in an auction. It was an $800 dishwasher or more, and it had a crack in the front, but it's just cosmetic. So I have my daughter's chore chart magnet on top, and we got it for $50 or $60, I think, years ago. And I love it because it's so nice to not always have to wash dishes. Oh no, am I a little bit short? Of course, we'll be okay. We'll steal some from the other jars. Okay, so I'll pretty much have 4 pint and 2 quart. I'll just skim a little bit from those. I'm going to add some liquid, and then I'll show you how I get these going. These filled, and I wanted some water because one, I don't know what I'm making with them, and they're not totally cooked, so this water is going to get some of that flavor when they cook. I'm just making this up. Maybe it's not. That liquid is going to take some of the uncooked beef flavor. I left an inch of headspace. Get out some of these bubbles. Okay. I have my lids in my water, my warm water. When I was first trying to figure out how to can, I in no way know what I'm doing. I saw somebody with this tool on a Facebook or on a YouTube video, and I was like, whoa, what is that magic she has? I thought it was the coolest thing. And then I realized that the kit that I had purchased came with one, and I felt it's kind of silly. Okay, so I got my lids on. We're just gonna screw these one-handed. And because these are hot, we are going to do them in hot water in the electric pressure cooker, not pressure cooker, canner, electric canner, because we don't want them to, or we want them to be the same temperature, the water and the canning. So I have these 4. Those need to be done for 90. These smaller ones need to be done for 75. Let's go over there. I think this holds 2 or 3 more. So I think what I'm going to do, is do some of the raw and put those in here as well. That way I'm not wasting because I have space. So let me cut that up. I have 2 of these. I have the raw roast and some salt. I'm going to add some very, very hot water. Not a ton, because it's going to release juice as well. Get those bubbles out. I think I actually might want to take some of this out. A little too full. Okay. There we go. Get those bubbles out. Then I'm going to put the lids on and we'll put them in the canner. Okay, I have my raw roast. We're sticking those in. I think I can actually fit one more. So maybe we'll throw that beef we took out in there. I lied. It's not going to let me. So we have 6 jars. Pour in our hot water and get it all over the counter. Our kitchen sink water is like boiling, so I'm not putting boiling water. Okay, so it's up to the top. Then we're just going to close it up, make sure it's on exhaust. Then we do 75 minutes. And then when it starts to count down, we flip this thing to airtight. Okay, I'm gonna get this cleaned up and then we're gonna do some onions. All right, we have dishes washed. We're gonna do these onions. So this is the bag of onions I have, and they're from the summer, but some of them have gone a little bad and some of them are starting to sprout. So I think some of them are just rolling away. So I think what we're going to do is, like this one. I don't think this one's good at all anymore. We're going to process this one and not the new one we got, and we'll put the new one downstairs. So I have this out. I have my bag to freeze to make broth later with it. I have my bowl, and I have my food processor to chop. So I'm just going to get these cut into quarters, throw them in here, and I'll show you when that's done. All cut into halves. And then we did one of these in this cut. So I'm just going to put them in little bags like this for the freezer. And then I'm going to do the diced ones, some for the freezer, and then I'll dehydrate the diced ones. Let me get this in the bags. Show you how many it makes. So I made another decision. I got everything ground. Not ground, but in the food processor. I have 10 bags of these sliced onions in the snack size bag. Because I have the 25-pound bag of purple onions, I don't think I want that many in the freezer because I need to be eating these so that they don't go bad. So I think we're going to dehydrate all the rest besides these 10 bags to have on hand. So, for some reason, or maybe this is normal, there was a lot of liquid that came out when I was food processing them. So, sorry, I was looking at the onions. So we are going to, sorry. So we are going to strain off some of that liquid, and we'll save it for another project, and then we'll dehydrate these onions. And then we can use it dehydrated, or we can grind it for onion powder. So let's show you what we're doing. So first I'm just going to go through and I'm going to get a majority of this liquid. Just look at that. And if we're dehydrating it, we're taking out the liquid anyway, so we might as well save that liquid for something else. So I'm going to work on doing this. I'm sure you don't want to watch me just squeeze onions. That's not very exciting. And then I'm going to just throw them on the dehydrating trays, and I'll show you when I'm done. The baby is fighting sleep, so I can hear her in there because she can hear me. So we have the dehydrator going. Something on my nose. The first batch of canning is off now, but it needs about an hour. We have some jars behind us right here to go in. We still have the roast cooking. I'm going to freeze some of this onion juice, and then I'm going to make broth because I have 2 huge bags now of onion peels, and I don't want 2 bags in my freezer. I'm trying to clear out my freezer and not put stuff in my freezer, even though I'm going to be putting this onion ice cube stuff in the freezer. Oh. So, let me show you these ice cube trays. And I'm just gonna pour, I have it in a measuring cup. I'm just gonna pour the onion because I'm like, we don't want to waste all this good flavor, right? So we'll freeze these and then we'll put them in a bag and throw them in the freezer when we're done. And then when we're cooking, for extra flavor, we can just throw in one of these bad boys. I might have gotten those a little bit full. Looks like I need one more. That one's too full. That's okay. I have 3 of these, so we'll just do as many as we can in this one. And we'll put it in the freezer, pop them out into a Ziploc baggie when we're done. Throw them back in the freezer. Look at that, perfect. Okay, this is my older freezer bag of just random veggie parts and onions. So I'm going to throw this in. I have some soup bones. And we're going to make some beef broth. Let me get some water. And I'm just going to use the measuring cup I just used because why would we dirty anything else? Just onion juice. That's going to take me 500 years. I filled up the bowl. That was a much smarter idea because that measuring cup would have taken me forever and my bigger measuring cup is occupied. I like to let my stock be more like a broth, bone broth, and let it go overnight. So I think that's what we'll do. And I'll can it tomorrow, which will be fine since my canner is going to be occupied for the next few hours anyways. These are frozen, I just pulled them out. They came with the cow we bought. We asked for all the extra pieces because we're paying for them anyway, so why not take the heart and the liver and all that and at least feed them to the dogs. I don't know, is 2 enough? Let's start with 2. We'll add in these pills. There's some carrot stuff in there. Carrot pills, not stuff. Carrot pills. I'll just put all these veggie scraps in here. Make a really flavorful broth. Perfect. That bag actually needed to be replaced anyways. It was not shutting correctly. So I'm just going to get this on the stove and we'll cook this until tomorrow and can it then. But we'll have some really nice, flavorful, collagen-filled broth to go downstairs. And I still have this much left from all those onions, and I had to throw some of them away. I'm so glad I went through that and did that project today because some of them were not good anymore. I kept them downstairs where it's really cold, and it's been winter, so I don't know. First time doing all this stuff, learning. It is what it is. All right, on this side we got our stock going. That was our lids from earlier. We're just gonna whip up these Rice Krispie treats. I'm so confused because every recipe always says a different amount for butter. So I never know. I never know which one to actually follow. So, and I don't make these enough to be a pro. Even though I think I've made them twice with you now. I'm just trying to get rid of some of the cereal we keep getting. And we got the marshmallows that one time. And I had these from a clearance. They're 50 cents at Smith's. So I'm just trying to get stuff used up. So, and then after this project, I need to eat some lunch. I am starving. I haven't eaten yet. Oh, these are my mushrooms. The butter's melting from the dehydrator. I'm so excited. I was trying to make a YouTube short, but I don't know how to do that. And show them. I'm so thankful to have that dehydrator. It's going to be such a blessing in preserving food. What's your favorite cereal to do Rice Krispie style treats out of? I love them with tricks. I will say that that is my favorite that I've ever had. I'm not really a Rice Krispie fan. I mean, a Rice Krispie treat fan. Not my favorite dessert, but I thought I'd try them with these Fruity Pebbles since we have a bunch of boxes now. Maybe they'll be good. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to take them to the neighbors if they are. So they're not just around here tempting everybody. They'll be pretty at least, right? Okay. Let me get this all done and then I'll show you what these look like. And then I'm going to take a little break, like I said, to eat. And then we'll be back in a while after our meat's done, or the canner's done, or whatever's next on our list. Alright, I'm going to put parchment paper in my dish because I don't want to try and fight these out later. But there we have it. Fruity Pebble treats. I did not spray my spoon. I had Fruity Pebbles for the first time this last week, actually. My husband poured himself some for a snack, and I tried them, and he was like, "You've never had these?" And I was like, "No." Growing up, my mom didn't buy sugar cereal and stuff like that, only on special occasions, and I always picked Frosted Flakes or Fruit Loops. So, just in case we take some to the neighbor, I won't touch it. We'll try that. Interesting. I'm sure everybody will love them, but again, I don't think I'm a huge Fruity Pebble fan. Okay, one more project done. We're just waiting for everything else. I'm gonna go have some lunch. All right, it's been a few hours. We're on our third load of laundry. Baby had to get up because she decided she was not going to take a nap. So she had lunch with me. Then my husband got called into work. So we hung out for a little bit. Not the husband, the baby, me and the baby hung out for a little bit. And we're back in the kitchen. All the dogs are here because I took the roast out. We're gonna see what our canning is up to. I heard a pop. Let's get these out and see how they did. Remember, we did cooked ground beef and we did some raw roast. And I realized that I said earlier that I've never canned beef, and I have canned cooked beef, but what I meant was I've never canned raw meat. That was my first time doing that. So far it looks good. Okay, we're gonna get these big jars in, but this is hot water and these have been sitting now. So we're gonna dump this hot water. Some cold water. We plugged in our machine. Now these need to go for, ooh, that's too full. These need to go for 90 minutes. Oh my goodness gracious. That's why I like to put the water in after the jars, because I hate wasting water. Okay, so get those, put on exhaust, 90 minutes. Start. Okay. Okay, we have that started. So let me show you over here. We have our Fruity Pebble treats done, and I put 3 in a bag for my husband for his lunches this week. Shut this so nothing gets on them. I think they look pretty cute. So those are ready. I have some strained broth. Sorry, I'm holding the camera real weird. Some strained broth to put in with the meat. There's a piece of the roast left. I don't know if I want to save that for this week's dinner. I don't know if I want to save that for this week's dinner or if I want to add it. So let's just see how much we have to can, and then we'll figure that out. Have our broth going, like I said, until tomorrow, and we have our dehydrator still going for our onions. Let me grab my tongs. And I'm thinking, whoop, see, that's why I have my towel. I'm thinking that we're just gonna do these pints because that's pretty much a meal for us. And I kind of want a lot of broth because if we do like a gravy. With whatever we're making, we might want a gravy. I'm actually going to put some of the liquid first. Help with bubbles. Okay. And all I did was take it out and kind of shred it up a little bit. There were some really big pieces of fat that I took out, and the bones. Actually, my gosh, if they start barking, I'm gonna kick their butts. This baby needs to take a nap before it's too late to take a nap. Okay. I just realized I forgot to wipe the rims on all of those jars, so let's hope for the best. Because you are supposed to wipe the rim before you put the lid on, so it seals. Knock it off. See, look at that. And then I said I'm going to put liquid first. I'm tired. We've been in the kitchen for a while at this point. I think we'll try to do 5 jars. And then whatever roast we have left, we'll save for this week. Fill it up a little bit. Put our meat. We actually might need all of that. I decided if we can 5, then we're gonna have a really odd amount of meat left over for the week, and I don't even know what I would do with it. So we're just going to do 4, and we'll do a broth or something in there with it. I know we don't want to. I guess we would have to do the broth for that long. I'm still learning all these times. I know some people are like, oh, that's that amount, that's that amount. But I've really only been doing this for maybe since December. So I don't completely know what I'm doing. Okay, let me get my vinegar and we're going to wipe that. I just have a little bit of vinegar on a paper towel. Well, those jars are sealing, they're popping. So that's good news. I'm gonna wipe these, and that gives us 4 containers of pot roast for downstairs, and got 3 roasts out of my freezer. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I have just a Pyrex container. This will be for dinner sometime this week, which is nice to have something prepped. There are some pieces of meat in here. Okay. So we have this for the week, plus some juices to make gravy with. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain the rest of this, and we'll just do a jar for the canner. See if we have enough for our second jar. Perfect! So now we have 2 of these jars that we can with the cooked pot roast. This is just my vinegar towel, vinegar cloth, like the sides, especially since I spilled everywhere. We have our 6 jars over there. We have our Rice Krispie treat things. We have bones for the dogs. We have meat and gravy for this week. Dehydrator's going, canner's going. I'm gonna clean up for the 900th time. Ooh, look at my pretty eggs. I'll show you my eggs. The eggs, so aren't they pretty? I have all the colors. So I just went out and got them. In our coop, it's kind of been rainy, so the coop was a little bit wet. So some of them I had to wipe a few of them. It's 8 o'clock, and I would like to take a shower. I'm done in the kitchen. What we got done is what we got done. We got this canned. We have our Rice Krispie treats. I have one last batch canning in my canner, and the dehydrator probably has 2 hours left. So everything will be done tonight, all of our goals. But it's time. The time has come. And then my onion juice is frozen, so I'm gonna throw that in the freezer. This is just my little fridge. So I think we did pretty good considering all the things that we had to do today. My house smells like onions. I probably smell like onions. Pretty tired. It's time to put the baby to sleep. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here and commenting and subscribing and all of those things. Have a great weekend.